Hi startup community, welcome to my new special video. Today I have a special guest from Bosnia. His name is Armin Konjalić, welcome here to Austria. And in this video he will tell us something about the startup boom in Bosnia. So stay tuned. Give us a short introduction about yourself. Who are you? Where are you coming from? How old are you?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so I'm coming from a small town called Travnik, which is a very interesting city. So I grew up there as I lived through the war, Bosnian war, and all the hell that came after it. It was painful period of my life, but yet it taught me a lot, and I gained a lot of qualities in very young. And then I moved to Vienna somewhere. I moved to Vienna to study here business informatics, but at that time I was already working, so my university and formal education was always not on top of my priority list. I was more like using all these schools and universities, using professors as mentors, using schools as resources to win in something what I was trying to achieve.
So your career started here in Vienna during the university?
I would say that Vienna played a very important part in transitioning from tech guy to business guy, because I used to study informatics back in Bosnia, and then I moved to Vienna to study Wirtschaftsinformatik, business informatics. So it kind of fulfilled all the gaps of business knowledge, which is actually really hard to acquire in Bosnia, because there are no good business schools and good business mentors there. So this was the moment of this transition where I started to think more business-wise than technical-wise.
Okay, so your career continued after Vienna in, I think, in Russia. Is that true?
Yeah, I think during that time I was already very active in Russia. So our company, a company that I work, East West Digital, it started in Russia.
Okay.
For one specific reason, because Russia was an interesting market with a lot of money, a lot of innovation, a lot of technology, yet it was inaccessible because a language barrier. There is no available resources in English. So if internationals are interested, what's happening with Russian tech market? What is Yandex and Kontakti and some internet giants there? And what's happening there? It was really hard to learn about it because there was no knowledge, there is no resources in English language or any other language part of Russian to know about it. And this is where we jumped in. We have this series of products and services such as news, reports, and consultings to help international companies comprehend and understand and enter such difficult market as Russia. So even today we are the key player in Russia, but over the time, since we conquered the hardest market, it was piece of cake to expand it on other markets with similar problems and similar market. So after Russia we did in Ukraine, and now I'm finishing one project which is focused on Central Eastern Europe, which is in kind of leveraging all my connections that I gained while traveling around the region, and the knowledge and that I acquired while observing all this booming ecosystem, which was in very early stages, but yet in these 4 or 5 years it's booming a lot, especially in Baltics and some Balkan countries.
Armin, your story starts in Bosnia, goes to Austria, Russia. Now you're really scaling. What ignited your inner fire to do in the startup business? What is your story? What was this elemental moment?
Oh, and I wish I knew that word and that terminology and that world much earlier, because when I was very young, when I used to play handball, and that was my first passion. And second passion was internet, and all this while I was trying to find right school, right people around me. All I did while I was thinking, I was passionate about internet. I saw an internet as access to global market, but yet in Bosnia there is little knowledge about what startup is, what Silicon Valley is. So I learned that quite late for my age. I wish I knew that when I was 10 or 14.
Yeah, that's a similar story also with me.
Yeah.
I needed quite a lot time to develop these skills or to understand what the Silicon Valley mindset could be.
Yeah.
What happened the last 3 years in Bosnia? Which kind of movement passed down there? I think most of the audience, they don't know so much about the Bosnian market. Can you tell us what happened the last 3 years there?
Well, in past 3 years appeared everything. So if we say, look, Bosnian startup ecosystem 3 years ago, there was almost no accelerator, almost no even co-working spaces. Yet there were few startups, few enthusiasts who were trying to, and I was one among them who was trying to build it from ground up. And today, like cities like Mostar, Sarajevo, Banja Luka already built some infrastructure and already have first startups. There is a lack of capital there, but now there's a lot of initiative by using Bosnian diaspora, which is huge across the world, to do some kind of business angel funds to invest in Bosnian startup and to fill this gap of capital gap in Bosnian ecosystem.
From your point of view, what is the spirit of the Bosnian ecosystem, startup ecosystem?
I don't know what's right word in English. Domišljatost. Let's say resourcefulness.
Okay.
That Bosnians usually lack resources, but they are able to make something out of nothing. Comparing to Austria, which has a lot of resources, and Austrians always think about resources first, to have everything there, all parts necessary, even reserve part, to plan everything through, and then start working. That's make it like kind of slow and regulated process, while Bosnians always lacked the infrastructures and resources, and whatever Bosnian innovators are doing, they're doing it with very minimum resources, but yet they're somehow making it.
Okay. Lived several years in Spain too.
Okay.
And I know the South European mindset is like a little bit tomorrow, mañana, no se preocupe, sutra. We know that, and that's the South European mindset. Do you think that this is changing, especially for young people, because they want some improvement or some growth, also maybe some mind growth?
Oh yes, but they do not manage that in Bosnia. While they are there in that environment, it doesn't matter even if they're in Greece, in Spain. Yet environment influence that. But yet if they come to Poland or Austria, it wakes up the best in them when they start appreciating organization, time management, and organization of everything at their workspace and workflow.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that the environment really influences hugely on the personality.
In Bosnia, only what you can do is drink coffee a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the last question, you have an international background.
Yeah.
Let's make a short comparison, Bosnia, Austria. Where are here the pluses, minuses, where are the differences, in short words?
Well, I already mentioned I mentioned in this video resources too many times, and I'll repeat it again. So Austria, it's very organized country with resources, while Bosnia it's a country without resources and infrastructure. But that makes Bosnian resourceful to find the way to work around, to do it cheaper, out of nothing. So this is the main difference, and this is probably what slows down Austrians, because very often the Austrian startup would spend too much time planning and organizing.
That's true.
Yeah. While Bosnians will spend too much time finding at least some resource.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you compare Bosnia and Russia, where are the differences in these markets?
Oh, well, Russia is huge country, which is kind of like it can live on its own. So it has its own inner economy. So even if you don't have ambition to go into global, you can still survive by just supporting the demands of Russian market, which is very specific. Well, Bosnia is a very small, undefined market, and if you're targeting only Bosnia only, you will certainly die.
Yeah, that's true. Compare Russia to Austrian startup ecosystem. Do you have some experiences here too?
Well, I can say there is a lot of opportunity for exchange, because a lot of startups from Russia and startup founders are somehow tired of Russian environment, and they want to go out. They want to access to European market, or just to go out za granice, they say. I just want to go za granice. While Austria is kind of really good destination for it, because in Austria you get a lot of support for startups. I think it's a country with the most available fundings and grants, governmental support for startups to move your company forward and to move it to Austria. I think it's very good opportunity for Russian startups who want to expand to Europe, that Vienna is perfect location for them to expand their activities in Europe.
Okay. Armin, more or less, these are my questions. Do you want to tell something more to the audience, or?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I do. I really appreciate all this great content that you are creating, and I would ask
a lot.
I would ask our audience now. So please put comment whatever questions you have. We can make even more interviews on some specific questions, and please click subscribe button.
Yeah, folks, you have heard it. Thanks to Armin for this great interview. I appreciate that a lot. You have heard something about the Bosnian startup ecosystem, and if you like this video, please comment it, subscribe for my channel, and give also a like. And if you like to contact Armin for further information, or if you like to know something about the Bosnian startup ecosystem, you will find the link to his LinkedIn profile down below in the description. And I would also like to say thanks to Helmut for giving us the opportunity to make this clip here. He is today's host with his co-working space here in Vienna. So thanks a lot, and till the next days. Bye bye.
Bye bye.